Welcome everyone, my name is Marjorie and thank you for stopping by today. I am participating in this What Would You Make challenge hosted by OK at Home DIY and Connie's Creative Creations, and their guest host is Lovely Moments Creating. So drop down to the description box for the playlist to see all the wonderful videos. So in my first DIY, I actually had some wood sticks that I've had for a while, and I just cut them down to 6 inches. And I have this buffalo plaid check little box. It was from the Dollar Tree from Christmas time. And this is a roll of faux leather. It looks like braid, and it's from Hobby Lobby. I got it on half price for $2.50. So what I'm actually going to do is just paint all of these legs in the black paint. I think this was just regular acrylic black paint from Apple Barrel in the matte color. And so I do paint all the sides except one of these short sides. So I'm going to take this faux leather and kind of wrap it around the box and cut it down to where I can actually wrap the box with it. All I do is I do use some super glue on sorry, not super glue. I used some hot glue. It was the Gorilla Glue hot glue, and I just used it to put on this faux leather. Now I did go ahead and fold it the long width and cut it in half. That was plenty enough for me to use to cover my little box. I will say I did end up painting the bottom of this little box, and I really shouldn't have, at least not the way that I did. I probably should have after I glued the little legs on, but you'll see what I'm talking about here later. So I'm just taking and kind of lining up the faux leather on here and trying to make sure all the edges are covered. So somehow, even though I folded it I can't speak today, I'm so sorry. The long ways to get the length out of it, for some reason it didn't actually cut perfectly. So I suggest, if you're gonna try this faux leather out, then definitely don't cut it like I did. I probably should have just went ahead and used my cutters or my little rotary blade. I should have tried that on my cutting mat, but I really thought I had cut it pretty evenly, but I did not. But I will say, when I used the hot glue, it worked so good. It worked very, very well. So as you see, I'm just a little shy, and I'm trying of covering the box. I'm trying to figure out how I can actually cover it the best way. So I do just stretch the faux leather out as much as I could, and then I go back in and take a like a black Sharpie and then just colored in where you could kind of see the little red part. But once I colored it in and stuff, it was pretty good. So then what I do is I actually cut the ends just in the corners. That way I could go ahead and fold it down, and it covers up the edge on the on the box. So because there wasn't that much of the faux leather, I did go ahead and use my little finger protectors so I wouldn't get any of the glue on my fingers, because I am notorious for not using these and burning my fingers all the time. So this time I actually wised up and used my little finger protectors, and it worked great. Now just looking at it, you could tell it's the bottom, and that's where I painted it, and this is where I'm saying you not to, because I did end up using the glue, but the hot glue, but it just kind of came off because of the paint. So I had to make sure the paint was gone, and then I glued it back on here. You don't see me doing that. This is just my first take at it, and there was no need for me to showing me taking off the paint and re-gluing them on there. But and I would say, if I were to do this again, I definitely wouldn't use one of these boxes. It would probably be best if you got one of the wood boxes from the Dollar Tree that maybe has a little drawers or something. But I wanted to use this one because it was a little bit bigger, and so I tried to use it. But it was just a little too flimsy. But it still turned out okay. You'll see it at the end. So for my second DIY, as you saw in the thumbnail, this is my take on it was actually a sign from Hobby Lobby, and it was for like $8. So I had one of those little wood rounds. It actually comes in Hobby Lobby 6 for, I want to say, $3.49. So they come out to about 50-60 cents a piece. And then I took this Dollar Tree stencil and used it on the wood round after I painted the wood round black. But I will say these wood rounds are pretty thin, so whenever you paint only one side, it kind of starts curving to the side that you painted. So you do have to go back and paint both sides to get it flatter. So this is the first time I'm trying this trick where I've seen many people where they're going to stencil and they use some Mod Podge first, and it actually worked out pretty good. I really liked how it worked. So I actually had to stencil home and then remove it, and then the suite, and then remove the stencil, and then do the home again because the wood round wasn't big enough to cover all of it. It was just a little too short. So, but it was no big deal. Everything turned out really nice. And I want to say, because I did get a huge bag of, wood beads from Christmas time. It was like for $5, but I didn't use the whole bag. I used about half the bag. So this whole project here probably cost me about maybe $3. So then I just go ahead and put some of the hot glue all around the edge and just glue these little wood beads right next to each other. And I do that for the whole sign. And then I do actually do a little bit different because the other sign in the thumbnail has like a little stand on it, but this one I wanted it to hang, so I actually made a little bead hanger to be able to hang the sign if I wanted to do so, and that's what I'm about to do here. This is just some jute cord that I got from Michael's like probably a couple Christmases ago on the after Christmas sale. And here I'm just gonna thread on a few beads, and then I'll knot both the top part where the loop is, and then also the bottom part. And here I'm just putting some hot glue on the end to keep it together because I couldn't find my tape, and so I couldn't tape the ends to keep it from fraying out like that. So I went ahead and used a little bit of super glue. So here's where I go ahead and tie the top knot on the beads, and then I'll tie one at the very bottom, and then with the remaining portion of the the little hanger, I just hot glue that onto the back of the sign, and that's about all I did to that. So for my third and final DIY, this came out so great. I just love this thing. So I had 3 crates from the Dollar Tree. Now when I was in the Dollar Tree, I did kind of measure them and try to find the 3 that were closest together, and it actually didn't take me too long. It actually worked out pretty well. So I just used some of the Gorilla hot glue, and I go ahead and glue all those together. Now you can use wood glue on this stuff if you want to, but to me this Gorilla Glue works really well, and I don't have any problems using just that, and it's a pretty light piece. So I've got 2 of the 1-gallon paint stir sticks that I cut the handles off, and I'm gluing to them to the sides of the crates, and you'll see why here in just a second. So I did want to go ahead and have something a little more sturdy, and so I glued these Jenga blocks onto both the crate and the stir stick. That way it just had a little bit more stability. So once I do that, I've got 2 of the 5-gallon paint stir sticks, and I cut the handles off, and all I'm going to do is glue them to the very front of the crates. And this worked out perfectly because I think it matched up pretty well as far as the matching the front of the planter that you saw in the thumbnail. Now that planter in the thumbnail was actually from Pottery Barn, and it was almost $300. As y'all saw, it was $2.99, and I loved it. I thought it was the cutest thing I'd ever seen, so I thought I would try to dupe it. So now I take a third 5-gallon paint stir stick and glue it to the top. Now I'm trying to make all the edges kind of line up and work just right. So as you see here, what I'm doing, I've already put 2 of the planks on the top. I glued it to the top of the stir sticks, and then I went ahead and I glued it to the top to make kind of a ledge, because you see this light, I'm going to add it on there and I'm going to paint it black. So this was the outcome. I just absolutely love it, and I hope you guys like it, and I want to thank you for watching. Y'all have a very blessed day.